Have you ever wondered, what if Zoro was reborn as Sanji, but kept every memory from his previous life? The moment he opened his eyes, he knew something was wrong. He wasn't in Shimotsuki village anymore. He had been born into the Vinsmoke family, the very family Sanji spent his childhood trying to escape. But unlike Sanji, Zoro never let the abuse break him. Every beating from his brothers became another reason to get stronger. Every insult from Judge only hardened his resolve, following his principles. Eventually, Judge gave up on him and locked him inside an iron prison, declared him as failure. But do you think this will have any effect on Zoro? Of course not. Time passes after Reiju helped him escape. Fate led him to Zeph. Their ships were destroyed in a storm, leaving them stranded on a barren rock. Months later, Zoro discovered that Zeph had sacrificed his own leg just to keep him alive. At that moment, he finally understood why Sanji respected Zeph more than anyone else. So instead of chasing strength alone, Zoro stayed at the Baratie, mastering the art of cooking, while never abandoning his swordsman's discipline. But here's one thing will definitely happen, and that is, Zoro now have two goals. First is to defeat Mihawk, and second is to find All Blue for Zeph. Years passed, until one ordinary day, a small boat arrived at the restaurant. Standing on it was a boy wearing a straw hat. The moment Zoro saw that smile, he didn't need an introduction. His captain had finally found him again. But this time, Luffy wasn't recruiting the future cook of the Straw Hats. He was recruiting Roronoa Zoro, living inside Sanji's body. At the Baratie, when Gin arrives, Zoro does the same thing Sanji did in the main timeline by giving Gin food. He even tells him to come back with Krieg because he knows Krieg and his crew are starving too. The moment Gin comes back with Krieg, Zoro and Zeph immediately prepare food for everyone. But after recovering, Krieg tries to attack Zoro. However, remember, Zoro was reborn with his memories, so he already knew this would happen. He dodges the attack and one-shots Krieg, while Luffy takes care of the rest of the crew. During the chaos, Nami gets the chance to run away with the Going Merry. At that moment, Mihawk also shows up, but this time Zoro isn't going to fight him, because he knows he's nowhere near Mihawk's level. After that, Zoro promises Zeph that he will find the All Blue and become the world's strongest swordsman. Then they leave for Arlong Park. During the voyage, Zoro tells Luffy everything that happened to him, that he was reborn as Sanji. Luffy simply smiles and says, "Okay." When they arrive at Arlong Park, the battle begins. Zoro tries to fight Arlong, but Luffy stops him and says, "Let me handle him." Instead, Zoro fights Hachi and Karubi and defeats both of them easily because he never got injured by Mihawk. Luffy also defeats Arlong. Then Zoro tells the crew to stop at Log Town to get a log pose because he knows they'll need it in the Grand Line. After that, they finally enter the Grand Line. They still meet Laboon, Crocus, and Vivi. This time, Zoro already knows Vivi's identity, so he reveals it, shocking everyone. Then he tells Luffy that their next destination is Alabasta to save the kingdom. Luffy excitedly says, "Okay!" When they arrive at Whiskey Peak with Vivi, Zoro immediately reveals the agents' identities and tells Vivi to explain everything. After hearing the truth, everyone celebrates with a banquet, and the crew leaves Whiskey Peak.